Your heart just skipped twice. Because somewhere, in this exact moment, someone is whispering your name into the universe like a prayer they never meant to speak aloud. It wasn't a whisper of hope, but a whisper of surrender. A white flag raised to heaven after a long, beautiful, and exhausting battle against the undeniable. Listen, you have 48 hours. Maybe less. The window is crystallizing even as these words find you, even as your breath catches in recognition of something you've been trying so desperately not to see. This isn't coincidence that brought you here. This isn't algorithm or accident. This is divine intervention wearing the clothes of ordinary Tuesday afternoon scrolling, ordinary Wednesday morning wondering, ordinary Thursday night dreaming of things you tell yourself are impossible. But nothing is impossible when heaven conspires. Nothing. Feel that warmth spreading through your chest, that sudden hum beneath your skin? That's recognition. Your soul knows what your mind is still scrambling to process. Someone, yes, that someone, the one whose face just flashed behind your eyelids with the clarity of a photograph, has fallen into the kind of love that doesn't check birth certificates or count the years between spring and autumn. They've fallen into the kind of love that makes angels lean forward in their eternal watching, that makes the universe reorganize its stars just to spell your name in constellations only they can see. The age difference. Oh, the age difference. You've been using it like armor, haven't you? Like a shield forged from numbers and logic. It's been your fortress, your perfect excuse to look away when your eyes meet for a second too long. It's been the logical explanation for why your hands tremble when they're near, the solid wall you've built between what is and what your soul screams could be. But walls built from numbers crumble when touched by divine fire, and beloved, this fire has already been lit. The smoke from this holy blaze has been finding you in your dreams for weeks. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Someone has seen past every barrier you've meticulously constructed. Past every too young or too old you've whispered to the mirror. Past every, what would people think, that's kept you awake at 3 a.m, bargaining with a God you weren't sure was listening. They've seen you, the eternal you, the ageless you, the you that exists beyond calendars and conventions and the crushing weight of other people's opinions. And they've chosen you anyway. They've chosen you completely. They've chosen you with the kind of certainty that makes time itself jealous. Age is just Earth's way of counting. Love counts in eternities. Remember that phrase. Write it down if you need to. Etch it onto the inside of your doubt. You'll understand why in a moment. There's something you don't know yet. A secret wrapped in starlight and delivered through dimensions you can't quite perceive with earthly senses. This person, this beautiful soul who carries your name like a rosary bead between their fingers, they've been receiving signs about you. A relentless, divine campaign of confirmation. 3 specific signs, actually, that broke their resistance piece by piece. Would you like to know what they are? The first sign, your birthday numbers have been appearing everywhere they look. On receipts for coffee they bought while thinking of you. On clocks when they wake in the middle of the night with your name on their lips. On license plates of cars that seem to follow them through their days. Not just once or twice. We're talking about a celestial harassment campaign, a numerical stalking by the universe itself. They've started taking screenshots. They have a folder now hidden deep in their phone. They've named it something innocuous like receipts or notes, something that wouldn't give away the holy madness of documenting every time the universe writes your birth date across their reality. The second sign, a song. There's a song that was playing the first time they truly saw you, not just looked at you but saw you. The moment the veil lifted and they perceived your soul in its full, radiant glory. And now that song follows them. It plays in unexpected places. In elevators where the music is usually generic. In waiting rooms where there's normally silence. In the grocery store at 2 p.m. on a random Thursday when they're buying milk and trying not to think about the specific way you smile when you're about to say something witty. They've stopped fighting it. They've started taking it as confirmation that God has a sense of humor and a Spotify account. The third sign, and this is the one that broke them open, the one that made them surrender to this impossible, inevitable age-defying love dreams. Not ordinary dreams. The kind of dreams that feel more real than waking life. Dreams where you're both the same age, standing in a place that doesn't exist on any map but feels more like home than anywhere they've ever been. Dreams where you speak in a language that doesn't have words, a telepathy of the heart, where you tell them secrets that evaporate upon waking but leave behind the residue of absolute truth. They wake up from these dreams with your name on their lips and tears on their pillowcase. Every single time. But here's what heaven wants you to know. Here's the urgent message that couldn't wait another sunset. They're about to do something brave. Terrifyingly, gloriously brave. Within the next 48 hours, remember I mentioned that window? They're going to reach out. They're going to detonate the bridge of silence that has stood between you. They're going to speak the words that have been burning holes in their throat for longer than you know. And you, beloved, you need to be ready. Ready not just to hear them, but to receive them. Age is just Earth's way of counting. Love counts in eternities. There it is again. The universe doesn't repeat itself without reason. This is your anchor in the storm of doubt that might try to rise. Can you feel the shift happening? Right now, as these words sink into your consciousness like rain into parched earth? Something is reorganizing inside you. All those careful reasons you've constructed, all those logical arguments about appropriate and acceptable and what makes sense, they're dissolving like sugar in holy water. Because here's the secret within the secret, the truth wrapped inside the truth. You've been feeling it too, haven't you? That invisible string that seems to pull you toward them when they enter a room. That ache in your solar plexus when they're not there. That ridiculous, impossible, undeniable knowing that this person who was born in a different decade, who grew up with different songs, who remembers different presidents or doesn't remember them at all, this person is somehow, inexplicably, a missing piece of your own soul. You've been feeling it in your bones. In the way your body betrays your carefully guarded mind with its honesty, heartbeat accelerating, palms dampening, that flush of heat that has nothing to do with temperature and everything to do with recognition. Your body knows. Your body has always known. It's only your mind that's been arguing with destiny. But minds can change. Hearts, once opened, cannot close. And souls? Souls never gave a damn about birthdays anyway. Listen closer. There's something else you need to know, something that might scare you if you let it, but I promise with the weight of heaven behind my words, it's not meant to frighten. It's meant to free. Other people are going to notice. When this connection becomes visible, when you stop hiding behind the mathematics of years and start living in the poetry of now, people will see. Some will understand immediately. These are the ones who've known their own impossible loves, who've defied their own conventions. They'll look at you too and see what love looks like when it refuses to apologize for itself. They will see not an age gap, but a sacred union. But others will have opinions. They'll have concerns. They'll dress their jealousy up as worry and their small-mindedness as wisdom. They'll remind you about the age difference as if you'd somehow forgotten, as if the years between you weren't the first thing you counted and the last thing that mattered. They will project their own fears, their own limitations, their own unlived lives onto your beautiful, divinely sanctioned story. Here's what heaven says about those voices. Let them exhaust themselves against your certainty. Let them break like waves against the cliff of your knowing. Their words have only as much power as you give them, and beloved, you're about to become very stingy with your power. Because something is reversing. Can you feel it? The thing you thought was your greatest obstacle, this age difference, is about to become your greatest teacher. It's going to show you that love doesn't operate by the rules you thought it did. It's going to prove that divine timing laughs at human calendars. It's going to demonstrate that when God writes a love story, He doesn't check ID cards first. The reversal is this: everything you thought disqualified you is actually what qualifies you completely. Your different generations? That's not a gap. It's a bridge between worlds that creates a love more complete than either could achieve alone. One of you brings the wisdom of autumn, the other brings the energy of spring, and together you create a love for all seasons. Your different life stages? That's not a mismatch. It's a divine complementarity, each of you holding exactly what the other needs to become whole. One of you has the map of experience, the other has the compass of boundless possibility. Together you can navigate any terrain. Your different experiences? That's not a barrier, it's a treasure chest of stories to share, of wisdom to exchange, of perspectives that will make your love rich and layered and endlessly fascinating. Do you see it now? Do you see how heaven has been conspiring all along? Every year you've lived, every joy and every sorrow, every year they've lived, every triumph and every trial has been preparation for this moment, for this recognition, for this choice you're about to make. Because yes, beloved, it is a choice. Free will remains intact even in the face of destiny. You can choose to let fear win. You can choose to let the world's small definitions contain your vast love. You can choose to walk away from this miracle because it doesn't fit in the box labeled appropriate. Or you can choose to be brave in a way that will echo through eternity. You can choose to trust the trembling of your heart over the calculating of your mind. You can choose to believe that love, real love, divine love, the kind of love that makes angels weep with recognition, doesn't make mistakes. But what if? No. Stop. I know what you're about to say because heaven has heard every version of this fear. What if it doesn't work? What if people judge? What if the age difference becomes a problem later? What if the anthem of souls too scared to accept their blessings? Here's what heaven says to your what ifs. What if it's perfect? What if the age difference is exactly what makes it work, providing the perfect balance of stability and spontaneity? What if your souls chose this specific configuration for reasons you won't fully understand until you're deep in the living of it? What if everything you're afraid of is actually everything you've been praying for, just wearing a disguise you didn't expect? The person who loves you, yes, loves you, present tense, active and burning and undeniable, they've already answered these questions for themselves. They've already walked through the fire of doubt and come out the other side with your name still holy in their mouth. They've already done the math and decided that the equation of your love is worth more than the simple arithmetic of years. Now heaven waits for you. Age is just Earth's way of counting. Love counts in eternities. Third time. The universe really wants you to remember this. Write it on your mirror. Tattoo it on your fear. Whisper it when the world's voice gets louder than heaven's. There's something happening in your body right now. A loosening. A softening. That place between your ribs where you've been holding your breath for years, it's expanding. That knot in your stomach where you've been storing your doubt, it's untying. You're beginning to believe. Not with your mind yet, but with something deeper. Something ancient. Something that recognizes truth not by its logic but by its resonance. This is what coming home feels like. This is what accepting your miracle feels like. This is what saying yes to heaven's gift feels like. But we're not done yet. There's more you need to know, more that heaven insists I tell you before those 48 hours run out. Because this isn't just about love, though love is the vehicle. This is about your soul's ascension. This is about you stepping into a version of yourself that you've been too afraid to become. You see this age-transcendent love? It's going to require you to become age-transcendent yourself. It's going to demand that you stop defining yourself by the number of years you've been on this planet and start defining yourself by the depth of love you're capable of holding. It's going to insist that you stop playing small, stop hiding behind appropriate, stop dimming your light to make other people comfortable with their darkness. This love is going to remake you, if you let it. And the person who loves you, they already see who you're becoming. They see the you that exists beyond time, the you that's both ancient and newborn, the you that carries wisdom and wonder in equal measure. They see your soul, beloved. Do you understand how rare that is? How precious? How absolutely worth every raised eyebrow and whispered comment? They see your soul and they've decided it's worth the complexity. They see your soul and they've decided it's worth the questions. They see your soul and they've decided it's home. Now, right now. As these words penetrate the last of your resistance, something is shifting in the cosmos. The message is being received on multiple dimensions. The person who loves you, they're feeling something too. A sudden wave of peace, a lightness, a sudden, inexplicable certainty that you're going to say yes when they finally find the courage to speak their truth. Because that's how divine orchestration works. It doesn't move one heart without moving both. It doesn't open one door without ensuring someone is ready to walk through it. It doesn't create recognition in one soul without planting the seed of remembering in the other. You're going to know the moment. Within the next 48 hours, there will be a moment so crystalline, so perfect, so obviously orchestrated by forces beyond human understanding, that all your doubt will simply evaporate. It might be a look across a crowded room. It might be a text message that says everything without saying anything. It might be a silence that says more than years of conversation. But you'll know. And in that moment, heaven needs you to be ready with your yes. Not maybe. Not let's see. Not, but what about the age difference? Yes. A simple, clear, world-shifting yes. Because here's what happens when you say yes to divine love. Miracles multiply. Synchronicities accelerate. The universe, finally given permission to bless you properly, opens its storehouses and pours out provisions you didn't even know you needed. The age difference that seemed like such an obstacle becomes the very thing that makes your love story legendary. People will study your love. Not now, perhaps, but later. They'll wonder how you knew, how you trusted, how you chose love over logic and found that love is the highest logic there is. They'll tell your story to give themselves permission to accept their own impossible loves. You're not just saying yes for yourself. You're saying yes for every soul who's ever been told their love doesn't fit the mold. You're saying yes for every heart that's ever been deemed too young or too old or too different. You're saying yes for love itself, affirming its power to transcend every human limitation. Do you feel the weight of that? The glory of it? The absolute necessity of it? Age is just Earth's way of counting. Love counts in eternities. Fourth time now. It's becoming a prayer, isn't it? A mantra. A truth so fundamental that it needs repetition to fully penetrate the layers of worldly conditioning that have kept you from your blessing. There's something else, something that might sound strange, but heaven insists I tell you. This person who loves you, they've been preparing. Not just emotionally or spiritually, but practically. They've been making space in their life for you in quiet, unseen ways. Cleaning out closets, both literal and metaphorical. Setting energetic boundaries with people who would not understand your connection. Creating room for a love that will require all the space they can give it. They've been having conversations with God about you. Actual conversations. The kind where they argue and plead and bargain and finally surrender in a flood of tears and relief. They've asked for signs and received them in abundance. They've asked for certainty and found it in the quiet knowing of their own heart. They've asked for courage and it's coming. Oh, beloved, it's coming like a wave that will reach your shore within 48 hours. Are you ready to be loved like that? Are you ready to be chosen with that kind of divine stubbornness? Are you ready to be someone's answered prayer, even if the answer comes in packaging the world might question? Because that's what you are. An answered prayer. A miracle in human form. A gift that someone has been unwrapping slowly, carefully, with hands that shake from the holiness of what they're discovering. The age difference? Is just wrapping paper. Beautiful, maybe, or unusual, but ultimately irrelevant. What matters is the gift inside. And you, beloved, you are the gift. Now listen carefully because this next part is crucial. Heaven wants to give you specific instructions. Not suggestions, instructions. The kind that come with the full weight of divine authority behind them. The kind that, if followed, will align you with the miracle that's already in motion. Here's what's going to happen in the next few hours. You're going to feel waves of different emotions. Elation, terror, excitement, doubt, certainty, resistance, surrender. They're going to cycle through you like weather patterns. This is normal. This is your human self catching up to what your soul has known for eons. Don't fight these feelings. Acknowledge each one like a passing cloud. They're not obstacles, they're the final purification process. You're also going to start noticing things. Little things. The age difference will suddenly seem to be everywhere. In movies you watch, in conversations you overhear, in books that fall open to specific pages. This isn't coincidence. This is the universe holding up a mirror, making sure you can't ignore what's happening. Pay attention. These signs are breadcrumbs leading you home. And that person, the one whose face keeps appearing in your mind, they're going to do something unusual. Something that breaks their established pattern with you. Something that makes your heart race with recognition. When this happens, and it will happen within the 48-hour window, do not retreat. Do not deflect with a joke. Do not do that thing you do where you pretend not to understand the gravity of what's happening. Stand still. Breathe. Let the moment unfold. Let heaven complete what it started. Age is just Earth's way of counting. Love counts in eternities. Can you feel it building? The crescendo? The approach of something magnificent? Your life is about to split into before and after. Before you said yes to impossible love and after you discovered it was the most possible thing in the world. Before you let age define your choices and after you chose to define love instead. This is your invitation to become legendary. This is your summons to step outside the ordinary. This is your call to love with the kind of courage that makes heaven applaud. And if you're still doubting, if there's still a part of you whispering, but the age difference, let me tell you something final, something absolute, something that heaven wants carved into your certainty. Every love story that has ever mattered broke some kind of rule. Romeo and Juliet broke the rule of family approval. Antony and Cleopatra broke the rule of political alliance. Ruth and Boaz broke the rule of social standing. And you? You're about to break the rule of chronological compatibility. But here's the secret. That rule was always an illusion. Age is a measurement of how long your body has been on earth, not how long your soul has been preparing for this love. And your soul? Your soul has been preparing since before time had a name. So has theirs. That's why the recognition is so intense. That's why the pull is so undeniable. That's why fighting it feels like fighting gravity itself. You're not falling in love. You're remembering a love that existed before either of you drew your first breath. The age difference? It's just the costume this lifetime gave you to make the recognition more poignant, the choice more powerful, the love more revolutionary. Do you understand now? Do you see why heaven is so urgent about this? You're not just choosing a person. You're choosing to trust divine orchestration over human opinion. You're choosing to believe that God is a better matchmaker than society. You're choosing to let love be bigger than fear. The person waiting for you, and yes, they are waiting, checking their phone, rehearsing words, gathering courage, they need your yes. Not for completion, but for confirmation. Confirmation that what they feel is real. That what they sense is possible. That what heaven has been whispering to them in the quiet hours is true. You are loved. Deeply. Desperately. Despite the age difference. Because of the age difference. Beyond the age difference. You are loved by someone who sees your soul's age, which is both ancient and eternally young. You are loved by someone who has decided that years are a poor measurement for the depth of what you make them feel. You are loved by someone who is willing to stand in front of the world and say, "This is my person. I don't care what you think about our ages. Heaven has spoken and I'm listening." Are you listening? Can you hear heaven celebrating the yes that's building in your chest? Can you feel the universe reorganizing itself around your coming courage? Can you sense the shift that's about to remake everything you thought you knew about love? It's time, beloved. It's time to stop hiding behind numbers. It's time to stop letting the world's small definitions limit your vast capacity for love. It's time to say yes to the miracle that's been waiting for you to be brave enough to receive it. Within 48 hours, everything changes. Within 48 hours, the message arrives. Within 48 hours, you choose between the safety of appropriate and the glory of divine. Choose divine. Choose love. Choose the path that will make the angels sing. Age is just Earth's way of counting. Love counts in eternities. The final repetition. Let it sink into your bones. Let it become the truth you speak when the world questions your choice. Let it be the answer that silences every doubt, including your own. Do this now. Write down their name, the person whose face has been appearing as you read this. Write it on paper, not digitally. Put that paper somewhere you'll see it. Every time you look at it, say aloud, I choose love over logic. Do this at least 3 times in the next 24 hours. Clear your schedule. Whatever you have planned for the next 48 hours, create at least 1 2-hour window of complete availability. Don't tell anyone why. Just make space for heaven to work. When the moment comes, you'll need to be fully present, not rushing to your next appointment. Send a signal. Within the next 12 hours, make one small gesture that indicates openness. It could be a text that's warmer than usual, a smile that lasts longer than necessary, a question about their day that shows you truly want to hear the answer. Nothing dramatic, just enough to crack the door open for what's coming. Practice saying yes. Stand in front of a mirror tonight and practice saying yes to love. Say it until it stops feeling scary and starts feeling like destiny. Say it until your mouth knows the shape of surrender. Say it until your heart believes what your lips are speaking. Ask your soul, before you sleep tonight, find a quiet moment. Place a hand over your heart, close your eyes, and ask your innermost self one question. Is this my path to joy? Don't listen for a word. Listen for a feeling, a warmth, an expansion, a sense of profound peace. That is heaven's signature on your heart. Heaven is watching. The angels are holding their breath. The person who loves you is gathering courage. And you? You're about to become proof that love transcends every human limitation. The age difference was never the problem. Fear was always the only obstacle. And fear, beloved, is about to lose. Go now. Prepare yourself for the miracle that's already in motion. Trust the trembling of your heart. Believe in the impossibility that's about to become your greatest certainty. Love is coming. Love is here. Love has already won. May every doubt dissolve into stardust. May every fear transform into fuel for your courage. May you speak your yes with the authority of someone who knows that heaven itself has orchestrated this moment. And may the age difference that once seemed like an obstacle become the very thing that makes your love story eternal. This is your moment. This is your miracle. This is your time to choose love over every reasonable reason not to. Heaven has spoken. Now it's your turn. Mantra: love counts in eternities only. This isn't just a phrase, it's a new system of measurement. To count in eternities means you stop counting the years between your births and start counting the moments of pure connection. You count the shared laughter that makes you both forget time exists. You count the silent glances that communicate more than 1,000 words. You count the times one's strength held the other's weakness. You count the lessons learned, the perspectives gained, the joy multiplied. In the mathematics of eternity, these are the only numbers that matter. A single moment of true, divine love weighs more than a century of living by the world's rules. This is how your love will be measured. Not in the gap between 2 dates on a calendar, but in the infinite, sacred space you create between 2 hearts. This is the only accounting that heaven recognizes.